one of their blind bans leaves a more powerful hero pool in the end. The whole Keeper of the Forest Tempest matchup undoubtedly going to show itself right there, and there's the Ophelia. Everyone pretty much playing now realizes that's kind of the safest way to play the current state of the metagame. Parasite is locked up as well, so an effective double jungle combination open for both sides. As long as something like Complexity picks up that Keeper Tempest first pick, they will snag the Ophelia or Parasite afterwards. So that's probably what we're going to see out of the Slack Pool. You can populate the rest of the draft with sort of picks that might be powerful that you just don't want to see picked up. You can treat these as sort of like bans, if you will.
Yeah.
Go on.
You certainly can, and I mean, Parasite, he's a hero that will get picked up a lot of the time, but not always, so you have to worry. If you see Lions throw something else in there, or Complexity, they might try to catch you off guard and not pick up the Parasite and get one of those other heroes instead.
Yeah, one of the major factors is if they don't look to just securing their jungles through the Slack Pool and their Suicide through the Slack Pool, and instead they actually draft something. I keep going back to it because I actually think it is that powerful, and we've seen it a lot coming out of Stay Green, is that Suicide War Beast. If they do that, they can lock a very, very powerful here probably in response. And if Complexity, or I should say Lions, doesn't draft their lineup around maybe snagging it, they can pretty much secure that and secure some very powerful hero synergy by not having to draft that double jungle out of the lock pool.
Well, we're not going to see that War Beast in the lock pool, at least just yet, but Demented Shaman and Master of Arms will go ahead and finish that one out. Two heroes with a lot of versatility that have really been making onto a splash in the scene in the past couple of months. Stay Green, loving their Demented Shaman, and there's definitely players on both of these teams that are very capable of playing him in either that support role or, of course, is that solo short lane like Swindlemelons really likes to do.
Right, and we see Deadwood quickly banned out here. I believe last game Lions actually banned it out of Complexity's hands. It was a blind ban, if we are not mistaken, and, well, Zephyr banned in response, a very powerful partner to go alongside Zephyr, even Ophelia. Rally, not going to see that Rally Master of Arms combination. Fade just being an overall known cheesy map controller and ganker.
Yeah, getting rid of some more of those initiators there. The Rally, Deadwood, Fade, I mean, so a lot of them being removed. Definitely going to be looking at some of those strength initiators as being favorable first picks here, as both teams are going to look for something that really be tanky and jump on in there. And the bird being removed. I mean, I was on an interview yesterday, and I just had to reiterate, the bird is the word. I mean, that is absolutely the case.
No, so often. I'm not sure what Zephyr's win rate is. I'd be interested to pull up that statistic if we could, but it's got to be absolutely absurd. I feel like every time I see the bird, plus maybe one healer, one defensive hero on his team, the turnaround potential is just too much because you have to invest a lot into killing him. If you don't burst him down right away, he gets his Typhoon off, he lays down the heals, you keep laying in the auto attacks, but then you're sitting in the AoE magic damage that he's putting out. Even if you drop him in the end, he usually gets you low enough for his team to clean you up.
He will indeed, but he does kind of operate on a little bit of a timer, so if he's going up against a hard carry, could be in a little bit of trouble. Speaking of hard carries, I mean, the ones that we have left on the board here, not necessarily the strongest, as Draconis gets banned out right there, and a hero like Silhouette that so many months ago was insanely popular after receiving a few cents of nerfs really has kind of dwindled off, not likely to be picked up, but heroes like the Dark Lady and Mage Bane, both available, and of course, Wretched Hag.
I don't know. You know, I was talking with people at dinner last night. I was like, I think Thunderbringer owns, and I think Haxton's like, BK, don't you think Thunderbringer's overpowered? And he's like, yeah. And so, he has a little bit of favoritism towards the hero, maybe, but I don't think anyone's really comfortable as to where to throw him in lane, because you might throw him in the short lane, is what a lot of people sort of feel, and if that's the case, you sort of make other compromises in response.
Now, I've seen it actually run before as Justice League, formerly known as QSQ777, runs him with an M4 in the middle lane. Right now, they're the number 12 ranked team in HoN Tour. So, I mean, these aren't nobodies. They love running bag-in-a-box on that Thunderbringer mid lane. NIM4 banned out, though, so no lane partner for a Thunderbringer if they were going to pick that up. Instead, Lion's going to go with pretty standard heroes here. A very powerful Pebbles Engineer lane, probably going to be going mid.
Yeah, and Pebbles Engineers, a lot of strong lane presence, and also the energy field combined with that toss back, just, the synergy is spoken for.
Indeed. Now, Complexity going to be looking for their second and third picks here, 4 and 5. Overall, with that Wretched Hag, they haven't really revealed a lot. She can be played in just so many different ways.
But not really, actually. Sorry. I was looking at, they already have the Wretched Hag, so Dark Lady is a lot less of an option in this case. That is pretty much going to be Haxorn's hero for this game.
Maybe. I mean, they can definitely run it as a suicide. And we've seen not Complexity Gaming as much as some other teams that do like to run that suicide Wretched Hag. That's kind of fallen out of vogue, though. She's become a carry-type hero more than, like, just a bursty helping hero. As Hammerstorm and Aluna coming out. So coL returning to Hammer.
Yeah, returning to Hammerstorm. And I'd like to say before, I don't like Hammerstorm when he's sort of bearing the weight of the game on his own as a carry, but when he's complemented by Wretched Hag, that's actually the go-to carry combination I like to see, is that Hammerstorm Wretched Hag. A lot of presence during all phases of the game. Still, against a hero like Engineer, Hammerstorm's a hero that relies on laying those right-click auto attacks, and if he doesn't have his Shrunken Head yet, the Thunderdome does greatly mitigate his effectiveness in fights. Seeing Parasite in response now, the Keeper of the Forest. The Soul Reaper, a very effective hero against the Keeper of the Forest in general. That probably will be Flensmeister versus Moon Meander in the top lane. We saw Slicks play that to near perfection last time going against Krebson's Keeper of the Forest before. We'll see how Flens actually performs in this matchup against Moon. I don't think he'll do as well, because the game I saw with Slicks playing that Keeper, man, that was absolutely absurd how well he performed.
He did perform quite well indeed, but as the announcer says, we are going to go ahead and get into this game. Game number 2 between Complexity Gaming and Lions Esports Club has officially started. And Emperor, this is hype. I mean, we've got the grand finals today. Right now, we're trying to figure out which one of these teams is walking away with a bronze medal and an additional $4,000. And this could be one of these two teams' last game. This could be Lions' last game here of HoN Tour Season 1.
It could be. It could be. Both lineups are, I consider them to be pretty powerful. I do like the massive amount of heal and push potential that Lions has. The Ophelia plus Soul Reaper combination can prove to be a lot of trouble. I like the Tempest Engineer. We saw the power that had. With Stay Green against Orange back at GSL, where those two heroes pretty much turned an entire team fight in the mid to late game. Yeah, I don't know. Besides that, I don't know. What do you think about this matchup? Do you prefer one of these two lineups, Beef?
I definitely feel like the later game potential here of Complexity is extremely strong, but I'm really worried about this Soul Reaper. We've seen teams pick up Soul Reaper and kind of just, oh, we're going to take it into the late game and really just build up the Soul Reaper. Lions is not one of those teams. They will build up that Soul Reaper early, and they will make effective use of his timing, which is, a 20-minute push where he's able to just get in there, keep his team alive, and with the Ophelia and even the Tempest, we might see double, even triple rings of sorcery, and it's going to be an extremely hard push for the Complexity to deal with, but they have a pretty healthy amount of anti-push themselves.
I will say, when I've seen Complexity actually pick up the Hammerstorm in most games of my recent memory, they actually wind up not taking it in the end. B-Kid plays a pretty sound early game, but usually begins to taper off. I'm not sure what it exactly is, what is missing from the recipe, but I don't want to curse him in this game, but that has been sort of the trend that I've seen.
Oh, I completely agree with you. I would say that in the last few months, their success with Hammerstorm has been relatively minimal. There was a few-week period, probably 3 weeks, where Hammerstorm really came back onto the scene, and Complexity was having a lot of success. And when you're sitting there hitting for 650 damage with a cleave inside of a Tempest ultimate, it's hard not to have success with that. But teams got better at dealing with that, made sure their positioning was on point, and made sure to really make sure to exploit the lack of mobility that Hammerstorm has.
Yep. So right now in this middle lane, we actually are going to see Haxorm playing the Wretched Hag, and the 2v1 matchup, the Flash of Darkness, very effective against this Engineer Pebbles lane. I actually like it. I like that mobile mid lane hero against it. Engineer plus Pebbles is otherwise pretty much a guaranteed kill otherwise.
Yeah, it can still be a guaranteed kill here if they do land Stalagmites or Keg first. And there's the Stalagmites, the Keg perfectly timed right there. The auto attack damage, and of course with no Chuck or Turret being only level 1, Wretched Hag will survive, but we saw right there the lockdown potential of those two heroes. If they had had any more spells, that would have been a dead Hag.
Yeah, maybe so.
Taking a look at the bottom lane, Hammerstorm going to lane without a shield, really feeling that he's going to be just fine no matter what. Of course, with the support of his Aluna over here and going up against a Tempest Suicide, he doesn't have too much to worry about, but he's getting kind of close to the tower here, losing control of the lane as that Tempest and I starts to do some work.
Yeah, I could see that the early gloves of the Swift pickup here by the Hammerstorm as well. Pretty much a clear indicator that he's looking to pick up Alchemist Bones this game, Beef.
Yeah, well, right now he's definitely wanting that increased auto attack speed so that he's able to last hit just a little bit more effectively, perhaps. But could be going for those Alchemist Bones, a pickup that we do see on VKid's Hammerstorm every once in a while. I would say that about 50% of the time he'll pick that up, and when they do, it's indicating that Complexity really is looking to draw the game out a little bit. And I don't know, against a team with a deadline like this Soul Reaper team, I don't know if I would like that pickup.
I kind of do like it because I feel like it secures him more into the late game, though, and he's going to be picking it up so early here that I feel like you won't even see really a beat dropped when it comes to scaling, getting that early Steam Boots, getting the portal key. I kind of do like it because they are going for the late game. If they're focusing more on split pushing and taking fair trades, I think it'll actually really benefit him in the long run.
It's certainly a powerful item. Either way you look at it, as Keeper of the Forest is actually taking a lot of damage here at the hands of Soul Reaper. Of course, SR, 52% of the damage done so far in this game. As Hammerstorm stun comes out right here, Parasite's there as well, and Tempest will go down. Complexity Gaming bringing home the Bloodlust kill as Riser comes into the lane.
And Riser going to be getting a really quick Ghost Marches here, getting the Bloodlust kill as you had mentioned, and well, it's absolutely monstrous. You know the gank potential that Parasite has.
Oh yeah.
Flash farm potential as well. He's level 4 at this point. Meanwhile, looking at the enemy jungle, Hanskin playing the Ophelia level 3, just almost a little bit slower here than that Parasite. You know, outside of that, not too much else to look at. Just excellent lane choices by Complexity in general.
Yeah, doing quite well indeed. Even the Wretched Hag able to find some farm as she gets hit by a keg, goes the wrong direction though, and now Engineer takes a haunt and some auto attacks as Hag feeling even so confident as to throw in the counter harassment. Really a sign that Hax is not too worried here in the middle lane.
I want to go back to what I pointed out earlier, is that I felt like Moon Meander was going to perform better in this Keeper of the Forest versus Soul Reaper matchup than we saw Krupson do against Slicks, and I'm not sure if that's actually on the Slicks or on the Keeper. I feel like it's actually more on how Moon is playing this lane. I think he has a little bit more experience facing against Soul Reapers and playing this Keeper Suicide in such a matchup, and well, right now you actually see him effectively having the farm advantage in the lane. 17-8 versus 17 and 2 Soul Reaper, and the creep wave is pushed up.
Yeah, doing a little bit of pressure onto that tower, but that does give Keeper of the Forest the easier time in the CS as he's taking a lot of damage, gets hung up on a creep right there, and all of a sudden down to just 118 life with no mana though for a judgment, 160 required. So we're not able to go in for the kill, and Keeper of the Forest just going to stand back and do a little bit of regen. Talking about farm though, Hammerstorm down here, 28 and 21. They've completely reestablished lane control and is now relegated to farming those Ancients.
Right, and taking a look at the neutrals, he's been stacking the medium camp there, this double stack of Ice Ogres. Parasite is farming the hard camp, Minotaur nearby, but let's look for quick creeps that the Hammerstorm can go. Uses Alchemist Bones on once he picks it up.
Going to be looking for those big camps, of course, get that supplemental gold income. And talking about the gold income here in the middle lane now, Pebbles is actually a little bit lower than I would expected. You really do expect him to be getting almost every single CS here against a Wretched Hag that's not going to have any kill potential. But when you do have that Parasite around, that could definitely be a threat. And one of the reasons that Super KGEs just barely hit the 300 gold per minute mark, as Soul Reaper and Keeper of the Forest are tangoing up here in the top lane. And Keeper of the Forest going to walk away, hits that health potion, he'll be just fine.
Yeah, it's still pretty good CS here, at least. Yeah, 32 and 17. You look at the free farm hammer, he's sitting at 35 and 28. Just doing a little bit worse there. Besides that, Alchemist Bones, yeah, they are on him, as you mentioned, and I'm not sure what else here. Keep Moon Meander actually recovering. He had to have regen sent out to him by the courier. Still proving to be pretty effective against Flens here. This is around the point where Soul Reaper just does become a little bit too much of a force, though, for the Keeper of the Forest to maintain good lane positioning against.
Yeah, and Moon having to go for those early red boots, not going to be able to get that Ring of Sorcery just yet, so going to have to really fall back, might even have to go into the jungle here, as he will be able to contest the enemy jungle against somebody like that Ophelia, as she is level 5 now, going to be looking for another creep here, and will find a Skeleton King to dominate momentarily, and there it is. So, Hanskin on the Ophelia could definitely join up with Soul Reaper, who's already pushed up onto the tower and looking for the first tower kill of the game.
Yeah, I kind of want to see him run the runaround here on the Keeper of the Forest. Through the Seeking Shot, back around behind the tower.
Kind of like we saw last game from Riser with that dust helping to score the Bloodlust. But,
right. I think it would be very effective right now, and Well, Aluna actually perceptive to the fact that Ophelia is getting close to level 6, and it's usually around the time where you see her gank and push, is putting up that river ward. I like to talk about that a lot, how I like to see that defensive ward around the time where you anticipate the jungle gank and the tower push, and well, he did a great job.
Francie, of course, a very, very aware hero, knows these timings inside and out, and is really making sure to protect his teammates. So far, HoN not able to get the aggression that we saw out of Riser last game on the Ophelia. And as a result, I mean, Keeper of the Forest still maintaining pretty good farm. Aluna going to go in with an Emerald Lightning right there, just going to start to drive off Soul Reaper, and it's actually just going to buy the space for Keeper of the Forest to get in there and just grab a couple of CS, as Hammerstorm no longer needs support in the bottom lane. Tempest is 100% anxious.
Yeah, by a little bit of space, but I think Soul Reaper feels pretty confident just auto-attacking the Aluna back. If it comes down to trading damage, he does heal himself when he applies that Judgment Nuke, and well, Aluna, after that quick
oh, Keg going to be going in right there. Stalagmite's not going to connect as Wretched Hag gets the flash of darkness out of there. Just a 1/10 of a second off. And that wasn't even any miscoordination or anything along those lines, as much as it was just really far back, and Pebbles wasn't able to close the distance enough.
Yeah, they just tried for it. Wasn't enough. Wanted to take a chance. So he actually went for a fast Gravelock at this game, not going a battle, knowing he was against a dual lane and really wouldn't get any of the runes anyway.
Yeah, I like that choice. We always talk about people kind of building those prescribed item builds, and when you do have these dynamic builds like Wretched Hag just went for, or you see double punch daggers coming out on Keep of the Forest instead of boots or a mana ring, when you're really adapting and reacting to what you see, that's when you're actually the strongest.
Yeah, I mean, Lions right now, man, in the early game here, they're set back roughly around 2,000 gold in experience. And, well, that being said, if they were to lose this match, not only will they get the 4th place spot, it's going to be the fact that they went through this entire LAN event without taking a game.
And that can be very demoralizing to a team, as up in the top lane, Hag actually going to try to turn it around. Sonar Scream comes out and Hag goes down. Great job there from Moon Meander and Haxerin, as well as Francie joining the party, but used the root, used everything from Wretched Hag, and they were able to bring down Soul Reaper, a very, very needed kill.
Right.
And meanwhile, on the other lanes, you got defensive tower in the middle and bottom lane being pressured, but 3 of the Lions needed to bring down the middle tower, as Hammerstorm just brings down the bottom tower all by himself, carrying the whole weight of that giant sword and bringing it down on the tower.
If he is choosing to level up Mighty Swing, you know I like that build a lot. Going to leave 1 point in the Galvanize and level up here on out. 1,100 gold almost on top of the Alchemist Bones, on top of the Steam Boots. It's only 9 minutes and 50 seconds into this game.
He is a very, very rich Hammerstorm, and you've done a great job of predicting exactly what he was going to be going there for the Alchemist Bones and the Mighty Swing. I think you're in his head as, oh, Parasite going to be going in. Stalagmite's going to connect with a Wretched Hag. Haxerin going to go down right here. Pebbles maybe in a little bit of trouble as the Hammerstorm throw did come out. There's the stun coming in from the Ophelia minion as Pebbles is being sent back. Ophelia going to have to lay down her life, though. They're going to try to bring home a kill onto Aluna as the auto attack damage is maybe there. Hammerstorm throw going to be enough, and the power throw going to turn around from Aluna, as Complexity Gaming does end up bringing home that team fight with the kill onto the Ophelia. And their gold and experience lead is starting to get a little bit out of control.
Yeah, nothing really going in Lions' favor here. B-Kid taking it after the fight, moving into the woods, using his Alchemist Bones onto the skeleton, getting ever closer to his portal key if he opts to go that route. Maybe going to go for something more straightforward, hard carry instead. He is against an Engineer. Shrunken Head is going to be an absolutely essential pickup.
It is indeed. And speaking of those essential pickups, Pebbles is looking for his portal key here momentarily, as he does unfortunately just miss, I think, 3 CS there in a free farm main middle. I mean, that could definitely be something that shows you maybe this Lions team, I mean, they could be on a little bit of tilt here. They've had some very, very rough losses so far, and that first game definitely went very much so in favor of Complexity, and Lions so far in the second game not having any better of a time.
All right, Pebbles here going to get the Dragon Master kill and fended off the Keeper of the Forest. So Super KG taking a little bit of farm away.
Yeah, trying to resource manage his opponents right there, and will not actually pick up the portal key. He goes for a power supply instead first, so wants to bump up those stats just a little bit and be a little bit more useful in the team fights. Have something to keep him sustained before going for that straight portal key, so he's going to be looking for that one here in just about another 100 gold. but at the same time, I mean, everybody else on this complexity side, they're starting to pick up items as well, as we just had a codex finished up on our 350 gold per minute parasite.
Yeah, that is rough, especially when you're looking at the early game fight potential in general across the board with this team. The Wretched Hag.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, Riser, he found a Soul Reaper, and that's a big pickup right there. Soul Reaper, of course, was pretty low on life, it looked like, as he was doing Ancients. And Riser just showing up in the Wild Hunter, gets the invis on, and brings home the kill with that codex.
Yeah, I was going to mention that we were going to see some big pickups here. The Astrolabe coming out for Ophelia, the Shaman's Hedras coming out for Soul Reaper, and maybe at that point they could use him as a front man and take some of these fights. But with how well complexity is progressing, I'd say that's even a risk at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult indeed, and we talked about this at the beginning of the game. This Lions team is a team that does rely on momentum. They rely on being able to snowball with that Soul Reaper, and so far he's not able to do that. Goes with the Helm of the Victim very early on here, and he's going to be looking for an early Shaman's Headdress. Not going to be really contributing too much into the pushing, and speaking of push, Soul Reaper and Tempest could be in some trouble. Parasite going to be able to spot them out, and this is about to be a disaster for the Lions Esports. There's the power throw, the auto attack damage after the leech onto Tempest, and Tempest is going to go down. Hammerstorm throw is going to be used there on Soul Reaper. The TP support going to be coming in as Soul Reaper is going to be sent back, so ends up just being the one death. Parasite not going to be able to close the distance enough, and Complexity finding more and more pickoffs.
Yeah, every time they get a clean gank, it's just, they get the kill, they get the tower push, Alchemist Bones, Hammerstorm just growing further and further and further. I'm not sure what Lions can do right now to take the game back.
It's going to rely on Complexity perhaps making some mistakes, and it's going to really rely on them being able to effectively turtle right now. As Complexity, the team with perhaps a little bit less push, is now the one that's on the offensive. So, with the Parasite and the Ballista here, they're putting in a lot of damage. Combo going to be coming out on the Keeper of the Forest. He's still alive, though. The Demonic Execution used. He gets the root off before he dies. Back blast onto two players right there. And there's the Elemental Void, though. Complexity in a lot of trouble. 4-man Elemental Void. The Chuck going to be used there as Hammerstorm goes down. And Aluna going to fall as well. Wretched Hag and Parasite trying to get out of there. The TP going to expedite Parasite and Wretched Hag out of there as well. There you go. So Lions, you asked what they could do. That's what they can do.
It seems like they were listening. Huge Elemental Void there. Riser did a great job getting his ultimate off before he dropped down. Huge Bat Blast coming out still. Only picked off one of those two heroes. I forget who exactly dropped it first there and who survived with just a quarter of their health. But either way, huge team fight coming out for Lions, and, well, definitely looks like they have a shot again.
It certainly could, as they're going to take this opportunity to try to regain a little bit of map control, try to really manage their opponent's resources, take over that jungle a little bit. Pebbles roaming through there and showing us the power of that portal key, catching the enemy team unawares. And unfortunately, Moonmeander on the Keeper of the Forest just pushed up a little bit too far. He was able to get that root off, and it looked like it was going to be really good for Complexity, but that Elemental Void turned it around completely. Great job there from Krebson.
Yeah, I was expecting Complexity to sort of back off there, regroup, go for another pickoff, keep farming up, wait for Hammerstorm to hit us so that another sort of point like, okay, he has his portal key now, maybe get his Mighty Blade up, just sort of chill it back for a bit, and just keep the pacing up. But either way, a lot of that was set up because of the portal key picked up by Pebbles, and now...
Looked like Keeper of the Forest and Wretched Hag were trying to pick off that Pebbles as he was over there trying to steal some Ancients. No vision up there. They were, in fact, actually, the Wardicide did just go down, so now they've got the vision up there. Pebbles going to be showing up once more, really wants this Dragon Master. He's been over here focusing on this one Dragon Master for a while, and Complexity taking the opportunity to react. The red power throw is available on Aluna, and now 3 seconds on the root from Keeper of the Forest. Pebbles no longer willing to go in there.
Right, meanwhile,
bottom
lane,
lane.
they're looking for
There's the
pickoff.
Hammerstorm throw, and Parasite goes in with the Codex, and down goes Soul Reaper. Combo going to be going out onto Hammerstorm, though. Demonic Execution available, but Hammerstorm with the Galvanize going to be getting out of there. He is so damn fast, and Soul Reaper not able to close the distance. Beacon with the portal key on out of there.
Yeah, they're not going to extend further. They did have a regeneration unit on Pebbles if he chose to. He could have kept chasing. Maybe got the portal key off, but Avalanche, or I should say the Stalagmites with that 20-second cooldown is proving to be too much. Not able to get that follow-up kill, and, well, he gets on out of there, goes back to the neutrals, uses Alchemist Phone, and continues to scale well into this late game.
441 gold per minute on that Hammerstorm, and he is looking on fire indeed. We talked about maybe this hero having a little bit less success recently, but B-Kid showing us he is still very much so a powerful carry type hero, and just going to continue on farming. Hits the Vagabond leader with the Midas, bringing home about 300 gold. So very, very nice right there.
Yeah, Moon Meander, I don't think HoN's receptive to the fact that he was blocking his creeps there yet, but he is positioned to try to make something happen either in the enemy woods or top lane and go for that tower push. Just sort of scouting things out for now. We'll see how his team responds and gets into position. Ezra, yeah, responds to the scouting.
And Deconstructor Tempest being stalked by Keeper of the Forest. He's just in there soaking up some experiences. Ooh, Wretched Hag blinking back. And she's in some trouble. The Chuck going to be coming out. There's the Stalagmites as well. Auto attack damage is there. She applies the HoN and then is going to back off. And the HoN going to make sure that Pebbles is not able to chase.
Right, and you talked about Lions, they're a team that with Soul Reaper, they don't sit back and wait and wait and wait. They like to apply the pressure that a Soul Reaper, or the advantage that a Soul Reaper sort of has in these early and mid-game team fights. Against a team like Complexity that is performing as well as they are, do you still think they have a chance? I know they won the bottom fight, but Complexity was a bit out of position. What about now?
They certainly still have an opportunity in this game. Complexity, it's going to be up to them to make a few mistakes, but this defensive tower will drop as we're now at that 18 to 20 minute mark, which is where Lions likes to run their Soul Reaper push, as they will bring home that tower. But in the bottom and middle lanes, Complexity putting pressure on. Hammerstorm with the Hammerstorm throw onto Ophelia, backs off immediately. Wasn't able to get a Skeleton King's grasp off there either, as that one was done. As the deny comes in the middle lane, Keeper of the Forest going to walk away with the invis and no dust or revelation, so he's clean and out.
Yeah, one thing to keep note of this game is that they do have two interrupts that even work through Shrunken Head on Tempest. They have Keeper of the Forest on top of the Parasite, so it makes Keeper of the Forest life a little bit easier if he needs to jump in and get a perfect root off.
Yeah, those whole interrupts, as they call them, are extremely important, and the Complexity Gaming team very adamant about who needs to be interrupting those and who needs to be staying out. Very well coordinated team when it comes into those team fights, so I'm sure Parasite and Keeper of the Forest will be talking to each other as Moon and B-Kid sitting right next to each other. Excuse me, Moon and Riser, but also sitting right next to each other on the other side, of course. But we see more items coming out of the Complexity Gaming squad. A Wild Hunter here, level 13 Parasite, the top in the game. 490 experience per minute. He is on the hunt here in this Wild Hunter, and Krebson might be the target.
Yeah, I think Moon Meander got the scout on him. Parasite is moving forward, is going to be able to cut him off here if he cuts right.
And not going to cut right, going to try to hang out. And Keeper of the Force will use the root, not going to use the root to interrupt the Tempest ultimate. And it looks like both teams trying to dodge each other right now, as Complexity is going to take this tower in the top, but Lion's going to be going bottom.
Yeah, Hammerstorm very effective at pushing towers down very, very quickly. Moon Meander did see that Tempest ported bottom, so that's a sign that, hey, he can't come defend if we push the second tier tower. And them winning a team fight without their Tempest is an extremely slim chance. We see portbacks happening, though. Pebbles is up here with the double damage. He's the only one to try to respond. Actually, looks like he's going to try to go for this Wretched Hag, who is pretty squishy at the time being. With the double damage, he could fall in one combo.
And he might. There's the Chuck. The TP is going to be coming in right there. The Chuck after the Stalagmites and the auto attack damage. One combo indeed, Emperor, as Wretched Hag, just a little bit too squishy, and a double damage Pebbles going ham.
Yeah, so Super KGE making the best of the situation with that pickoff. Parasite going to try to stop this bottom tower push, and they are going to fall back. Do not want to let it get denied, and do not want to take any unnecessary casualties. Actually looks like they're reapproaching, though. Super KGE is looking to join back with his team on top of the Engineer.
And the defensive tower now going to be in deny range, but it will go down. Complexity Gaming going to sack that one, and now they have one tower left there in the middle lane outside of their base. So, yeah, both teams really trading a lot of towers right now. 4 to 5 in tower kills, just leading Lions by 1.
Yeah, I said what initially looked like a favorable situation for Complexity turned out in Lions' favor because of that pick off onto Wretched Hag. 2 towers for 1, a hero kill on top of it.
And it's worth noting that Lions definitely has been regaining in that momentum. I believe that this game was 9-2 at one point, and now all the way up to 9-5. So Lions really getting that momentum back and really starting to settle down again, saying this is still a game that we are very capable of winning. And one avenue to that is going to be this Kongor.
Right, they are on the Hellborn side. They do know that they're pretty much good to go as far as vision is concerned. And we talked about it earlier, Ophelia plus Hellborn absolutely devastating. We saw it last game as well with Riser playing the other game.
And that Ophelia will be taking Conqueror with the creeps for the most part. Gonna have to back that Minotaur up, and will indeed gonna get the Skeleton King into range to tank next, most likely, as Minotaur actually comes in instead, drops the stun. But that Conqueror is going to continue as we take a look at what's going on with Complexity, completely unaware about the Conqueror. And, well, red power throw goes in. Will they choose to react? Nope. Alchemist Bones on Hammerstorm just going to keep on transmuting those creeps into that cold, hard cash.
We talked about how important Shrunken Head would be now. He does finish it, but unfortunately, well, let's say the token's great, but unfortunately they're getting it at a point where Hammerstorm just finishes Shrunken Head, so
Sure.
what I would consider to be a pretty decisive team fight advantage, a little bit mitigated now. Still needs, I prefer to see the Elder Parasite pick up. We've talked about that a lot instead of the Bulwark onto the Hammerstorm. I feel like the extra mobility it gives him with the Shrunken Head. What's up?
Oh, you just brought it up. You brought it up. I conceded defeat about the Elder Parasite versus
it was like a
debate.
huge point of contention when we first started casting
It
together.
was a huge point of
kept
contention.
going between the Elder Parasite, between the Bulwark.
And that was 4 months ago. I told you you're right, and you still have to rub it in my face that I was wrong.
Well,
about
no, it's
that.
it's not even a clear right and wrong situation. It's just which is weird for me to say. I think it's kind of a case where you can make a case for both options. I do prefer the extra mobility in combination with the Galvanize.
And B-Kid agrees with you. He does like that Elder Parasite. He's going to be going into that here most likely, as they're going to be coming over into the middle lane, though. And Lions definitely looking for this last middle tower, number 6, and really clear out this map control so that they can start to do work with their Soul Reaper. Complexity brings home tower number 5, though, in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is the time where Lions does need to apply the pressure, though. I'm really worried for their team. If he does get the Elder Parasite still, good Tempest Elemental Void can prevent a lot of the damage from coming out. We're going to have to see how they choose to approach the situation. Looks like they're continuing. They want to go into this base here. They have 2 Skeleton Kings and a Vulture Lord. As far as Ophelia creeps are concerned, still have the Ophelia heal up.
And good fortification going to be used as the Chuck goes out. Unfortunately, missing is there was a little bit of lack of communication. The Vulture Lord backing up. And Riser on the other side will even up the tower kill score, bringing home another one. Is this going to give them enough money to start buying any additional items? Doesn't look like it, but the creep wave will be cleared out by Wretched Hag's Sonar Scream. And now Lions, after dealing about half the damage to this base tower, is going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, Ophelia can go back into the woods, get a 3rd creep again, and then reapproach. No harm there. We see Astrolabe finished by Franzi. We like to look at that Barrier Idol Astrolabe combination as being a major component to a team's success. They do have that Barrier Idol. They do have the Astrolabe on Ophelia's team on top of her heal. It can be really difficult to punch through.
Lions looking at Hammerstorm right now. Are they going to be going in here? They're trying to run the Lions gank, and they are going to find Hammerstorm. The King's grasping to going in right there. There's the Stalagmites. The Chuck going to be coming out as well. Hammerstorm hits the Shrunken Head. Bat Blast under 3. The Rook going to be hitting right there. The Keg going to be coming in. Elemental Void catching 2 right here. Hammerstorm taking a lot of damage. Electric Fence going to be coming in. Hammerstorm going to walk away after the interrupt on the Elemental Void from Parasite. And Tempest is going to go down. Keeper of the Forest going to be putting out the auto attack damage. Hammerstorm going to drop as well. Keeper of the Forest not going to go down as he dodges the Keg right there. Emerald Lightning going to be going in. And there's the kill onto Keeper of the Forest. Lions still 4 players up. Tempest the only one down. And they might now be looking to try to push.
Oh, wait, no, he got sent back. Sorry. Pebbles got sent back to base there.
Yes, Pebbles got sent back to base, and they're marching up the bottom lane. No, get a cut mid. Try to finish off this tower that's already at about 40% life.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at their team. They're pretty much topped off. They have the durability there of the Ophelia and the Soul Reaper combination. Looking at buybacks here, B-Kid does have his up, although his Brute Strength ultimate is down. Bat Blast is down. Hellflower just finished by Parasite. Trying to make big plays here.
They could indeed. Of course, that Pebbles could be very vulnerable in the front lines for the Codex, plus the Hellflower. Emerald Lightning going to be used right there, and the melee racks are going to survive. TP is going to be coming in. Will Complexity go for the chase? Leech going to be used by Parasite, trying to get in, and there's the face hug onto Soul Reaper. Power Throw going to be going out as well. Hammerstorm Sun going to be going in. There's the Shrunken Head. Auto attack damage onto Soul Reaper. He gets sent back, though. Lions Esports Club playing it close.
Right, and Brute Strength is down again, depending how fast Soul Reaper
Pebbles got hung up on a hero. And Hammerstorm going to be going in right there. Stun onto Ophelia. Stalagmite's going to connect as Hammerstorm is going to be stunned out. Gets the armor and the Keg. There's the Leech onto Engineer, but Lions, they're trying to turn this one around. Complexity sensing it. Going to be backing up. There's the portal key in. The Chuck backward as Keeper of the Forest in a lot of trouble. And down goes Moon Meander. This could be bad for Complexity. He does have a buyback. The root going to be available as well. Richard
Yes.
Hag up on the high ground.
But he has the root up, but Shrunken Head down for 30 seconds, brute strength down, and they actually get the pick off onto Franzi. No buyback for him. This is looking horrible.
This is not looking good indeed. Complexity Gaming in very, very serious danger of losing these melee racks, not regenerating fast enough. Wretched Hag already in a different lane, going to be farming, trying to counter push, knowing that she's not going to be able to defend without her team, but there's the buyback on Keeper of the Forest. Moon going to be ready with the root. Are they going to go in and try to defend this? Parasite's in the front lines. The melee racks go down. Complexity Gaming no longer has to initiate. They've lost what they were going to lose.
Could we be seeing the Hammer Storm curse again here? I mean, it was looking like initially a very grim game from Lions. Turned around by that gank and follow-up push, and now they're down a whole set of racks. Token is still up on Soul Reaper on top of the Blessed Orb leading towards his Sheepstick progression. Too much heal
Lions
right
is
now.
going in right here. Stalagmites, there's the keg. The 5-man root going to be coming in. The electric fence is there. Hammerstorm going to go down. He has a buyback available. Will he be using it right here? Moonmander going to be going for a little bit of a juke, but no, Moon is looking like he's just going to go down. Demonic Execution brings him down, and Complexity Gaming in some trouble right here. The Hellfire, though, they're going to turn it around. Pebbles goes down, and B-Kid has bought back. He's going to be going in. He wants some more. Power Throw is going to be used, and will B-Kid be able to get in there? Portal Key on cooldown for 5 seconds. Soul Reaper in the front lines has the Token of Life for another minute. They're going to blow a lot of damage onto Soul Reaper, but Elemental Void going to be catching Hammerstorm right here. No interrupt on it whatsoever. Hammerstorm going to go down once more. Soul Reaper goes down, but the Token of Life going to bring him right back up. No more buybacks onto Hammerstorm. This time Parasite in some trouble as well. He's trying to get out of there. The Judgment is going to hit right here, and down goes Parasite. Lions Esports Club looking like they want to take a second set of racks and looking like they want to go to Game 3.
That was absolutely insane. Total momentum shift here. I don't know what Complexity to stop this off. There is a Bat Blast up. There is a Hellflower up. Still, Root is down. Keeper of the
And
Forest
there's the
back
Bat
up.
Blast. One person Bat Blast. The Root not available, even though Keeper of the Forest is alive. The defensive tower looks like it's going to go down. And I don't think Lions is going to be confident enough to stick around to try to bring down the racks. But Lions, I mean, they're looking in a very good spot. And there goes the tower. B-Kid down for 15 seconds. Parasite down for 30. And Lions looking like they will back up. Just going to go ahead and play it safe. Smart move.
Yeah, they have no reason to push this further at this point with the mid tower down and the mid racks down. The bottom tower already broken. They have an excellent map control advantage, and from here on out, they can just sort of pace their game up and, you know, from there out, look to take a second Kongor and then seal the deal, win this game from there.
They are certainly looking good indeed with that 2,700 gold advantage. Lions Esports Club looking to make a comeback right now. And Emperor, I mean, it was looking grim, like you said earlier, but Lions showing that they are comeback kings. This is reminiscent of so many different Lions versus Complexity series where one team will be looking dominant and then just like that, it's all the way on to the other side. So, Lions, they've got the momentum right now. What do they do with it?
Well, what do they do with it? They're going to wait for that second Kongor kill, in my opinion. Just if they see an easy pickoff, they'll go for it, and then they can push base from there if they feel like they have no buyback or force the buyback from there. Otherwise, just keep farming up from here. Wait till Kongor gets back up, take that, and then go for the bottom racks push. Outside of that, the reason they're comeback kings, what led to the total change of momentum, that was the fact that they realized when their lineup is at its strongest. They realized Hammerstorm did not have his Elder Parasite yet. They weren't in full form. They realized that they would be tapering off a little bit as the game progressed, and they said, hey, if we're going to win the game, we have to try now. We're not going to be pussies about it and wait. Because at the point, even if they had 5K, 10K more gold worth of items, they would have proportionally been weaker, even had the gold and experience gap maintained the same ratio.
Absolutely, and of course the Lions gank that so many players talk about, their ability to get into these positions that you wouldn't think were possible. Somehow they just are all just walking right by your wards, and you don't even see them.
I feel like I know who knows how they do it. Zepro, I believe he would say,
gank.
It's a smoke gank!
It's a smoke gank! And
yeah,
Lions, I mean, they've got the power of Sweden behind them. Zetpro at home channeling his Spirit Bomb. And the smoke gank paid off right there. It got them the momentum. And now Kongor going to be back up here momentarily. Francie was able to get a Ward of Sight into the Kongor pit. So that could definitely be an area where Complexity could look to take a fight.
Right. They know that's going to be the next major point of contention. They know that's what Lions is going to be looking to do to end this game. And, well, looking at the top lane here, Super KGE, I'm not sure if he's perceptive to the fact that you see the Hammer Storm on the side, maybe looking to pick off Keeper of the Forest, stopping to farm the wave instead, and, well, both teams opting to back off from here.
Yeah, nobody wants to engage knowing that one mistake at this point could be all she wrote for this game. I mean, when you're giving up such big team fights, with both of these teams having such strong team fight potential, you really don't want to be letting your team down, forcing them into a 4v5 position, something like that. So everybody playing passive and just looking to secure their next items.
Yeah, for as big of a lead that Lions feels like they have in this game, I know the Golden experience isn't that much, but it really does feel like they have the momentum. They don't have a bound eye right now. Is that right against this keeper?
They do not have a bound eye indeed,
dust.
And yeah, no dust whatsoever.
Strange. That is very strange.
Need to get some vision so that they don't get caught off guard by the complexity invis gank there from
you know what?
Forest.
They know.
They know.
Ophelia just picked it up.
Donates it to Engineer as it was there in the base, and Seal Kid, of course, going to carry that one around, get the counter warding done that they needed, and as soon as he walks by this water site over here at Concord, they're going to go ahead and get the kill on that, and indeed there it is. So Ophelia going to go ahead and bring that one home. She'll get the 50 gold. Just kidding. No, she didn't. I thought Tempest stole it, and then I was going to yell at Krebson because that's rude.
It would be very rude, but you know what? He's getting close to that shrunken head. Every 50 gold counts at this point.
That's true. That's very true indeed. But Concord now getting relatively low. Complexity Gaming well aware with that water sign, but they no longer know what the big guy's HP is at. They're going to have to go in blind if they want to go in. And Emperor, you think they're going to want to go in. They're starting to collapse.
I feel like they
three different
need
angles. Red power throw. Pebbles goes in, misses the Slagmites, and she could be in a little bit of trouble right here. Hellfire applied onto Wretched Hag, though, and Haxerin is going to go down inside of the electric fence. Back on the other side, though, Ophelia going to fall at the hands of Parasite, and the rest are going to be trying to get away. The push stick going to be used right there onto Pebbles, but there's the Emerald Lightning. The Shrunken Head going to be activated. The Hammerstorm damage going to be applied right here. Hammerstorm in some trouble, though. Hammerstorm going to go down. And Haxerin has bought back. B-Kid using his second buyback as well. He's going to be coming back into the fight, uses the portal key to try to get back into position. They do not want to let this Kongor go.
Well, Kongor was actually already
It
killed
was
there,
killed.
unfortunately.
It was killed.
And it was low enough.
They let it go.
He has the Cauldras, and actually the vote to concede coming out here. They know that brute strength is down. They know that they're going to push. And might just be a little
there's
bit of
the
frustration.
Slagmites onto Wretched Hag. The Hellfire going to be applied as well. The keg, and down goes Haxerin. No buyback right now on Wretched Hag. Parasite going to be going in right there. Gets the pickoff onto Engineer. But how much is that going to matter in the end as Hammerstorm is taking a lot of damage right now? The vote failing to concede right there as both teams are very, very spread out. And Hammerstorm will go down to Pebbles. And this could very well do it. Super KGE with the double tap right there. And Lions Esports Club makes their way to the bottom lane, already exposing those racks, and starts to wail away on the melee ranks and try to open that door to game number 3.
Yeah, Hammerstorm and Ophelia and Wretched Hag down. They pretty much have no capacity for contending with this tanky Lions team at this point. And that's going to be a wrap, Beef.
That is going to do it. I always like to see full series right here, and Lions and Complexity not going to disappoint. We are going to be going to Game 3 as Lions Esports Club has, in fact, evened up the series, and they are still in the runnings for 3rd place.
They are. You know, it's the Hammerstorm going back to it, man. I feel like, Complexity, very talented team, but the luck of the day when they're running that Hammerstorm, it isn't with them. It is not with them.
No, Hammerstorm, we've talked about it a couple times there, that his success, it always seems like it goes that way, that he has such a strong farm early, and then it gets to those team fights, and he gets shut down.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like as a team, they're not assessing how to properly play their lineup. Early on, he had the Alchemist's Bones, he had the huge farm, he was pretty much getting that portal key. They forced that awkward fight bottom where Moon Meander got caught out, their team got wiped out. In a situation like that, I would have played it back, kept up the power farm with Hammerstorm. Given the fact that they had Alchemist's Bones, they were just going to be one step ahead in terms of